Heyo, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Wes. Today, I'm going to share a story with you from my childhood. Now, this story takes place when I was 13 years old, in 8th grade. Was I technically a child back then? 13? Is that a child, or is that kind of a teenager? Or an adolescent? Or a youthful person that is going to be an adult soon? I don't know. I'm 26 years old right now, and I still think of myself as a child half the time. So, anyway, let me begin this story. This takes place in Lexington, Kentucky. Now, that's not where I grew up. I grew up in Owensboro, Kentucky. Lived there pretty much my entire life, which is in the middle of nowhere, basically. And you can drive through it and you didn't even know you were there, honestly. Lexington, Kentucky is different. It's the second largest city in Kentucky, and we only lived there for a year during this time. We went up there because my dad had a job offer at the University of Kentucky. So we lived up there for a year, basically when I was in 8th grade. So I got to enjoy transitioning to a completely new school system, making completely new friends and all of that it entails, which was not good. Only to move back to Owensboro, Kentucky after a year, which is sad because I liked Lexington a lot. The kids in the school system there were nice. They didn't bully me. They didn't make fun of me. They were all really good people, and I cannot say the same about the people in Owensboro. Not everyone, just some of them. Anyway, that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is where we lived. Now, I've already told you before, in 8th grade, we lived in an apartment complex, which wasn't the best experience of my life, looking back in retrospect, but I was only a 13-year-old kid, and I did not know better. Don't let me taint that portion of the story because we lived in an apartment complex. It was an amazing time. 8th grade, I think, was probably the best year of my life, except for what I'm about to share with you that happened to me in 8th grade. It was very tragic and sad, and very stupid, and I don't know why I did it, but that legacy will follow me for the rest of my life, and you will see as I tell more stories that these patterns begin to emerge as I grow up. Now, what are these patterns that I'm talking about? Injuries. I've injured myself many times, and I think I will continue to do it. For some reason, I can't learn my lesson, but that is what this story's about, how I injured myself. I don't feel like I follow a very good script when I tell these stories, so I feel like I just jumble around and mess around and finally get to the point. I don't know. We'll get there eventually. So, we were living in an apartment complex off of the University of Kentucky. Behind us was this huge forest, the Arboretum. It's basically just this nature preserve that the University of Kentucky allowed to be there for people to enjoy. And we definitely enjoyed it. I mean, who doesn't want a forest in their backyard, which is what we had, which is why we loved it. So this one time in particular, my brother and I, my older brother, we were out going for a walk in the forest like we normally did pretty much every single day of our life, walking around the trails, just enjoying it like most middle schoolers would in a forest. Except for this one day, we had a bright idea. It really wasn't my idea. It was my older brother's. We were going to climb a tree, which we climb trees a lot, but in this instance, he was going to climb the tree and then jump out of it and land on the ground. Which is awesome to see your older brother do. And he did it. He climbed this one tree and then jumped out of it, landed on the ground, was just fine. He got up a second time and did it again. Now, to give you an idea of how tall this tree was, I would say it was probably close to 12 feet. His feet were 12 feet from the ground. That's pretty tall, especially for someone who was in middle school. Well, I guess he was a freshman in high school. I was in 8th grade. He jumped out of the tree 12 feet from the ground, landed, and then did a roll and got up, and he was fine. No injury, nothing. And me being the younger brother saw how awesome this was and was like, what? He literally jumped out of that tree and landed it, and he was fine. You know what? I can do the same thing because anything my older brother can do, I can do even better. So I had the bright idea of walking up to the tree, climbing up to the top of it to where my brother was, and jumping out. And I did. I literally climbed up. My brother was looking at me. He's like, all right, Wes, go ahead and jump. Go ahead and jump. I think maybe. Maybe he was telling me not to do it. I don't remember exactly. Needless to say, I jumped out of the tree, landed on the ground, and as soon as I landed on the ground, I fell straight to my knees and then onto my face. I was in excruciating pain. I started crying immediately. I was in so much pain. You know why? Because I had broken my left ankle. I literally jumped out of the tree, landed on my ankle, and broke it. Now, I didn't know I broke it. I was talking to my dad about this story a few months ago, and he was like, no, Wesley, You didn't sprain your ankle, you broke it. I thought I sprained my ankle. All right, let me backtrack. Let me tell what happened first. I jumped out of the tree, landed on the ground, was crying in excruciating pain. There were some joggers in the forest that were coming by. My older brother was like, "You're embarrassing me. Stop crying right now. Stop crying." I don't know why he did that. Every time I cried, he got embarrassed and was like, "No, you can't. Stop crying." So I couldn't stop crying because the pain was overwhelming. And you know what he did? He got up and ran away. He's like, "No, I can't be around. I can't be seen with you." And he ran away and left me in the ground to cry and be in agony. Which I don't blame him. I mean, I just jumped out of a tree and broke my foot. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. I wouldn't want to be associated with me either. I got up and limped into the house, which wasn't that far, maybe about 50 feet. I mean, a little far to be walking on a broken ankle. So I walked on the foot. You're not supposed to walk on something if it's broken. I didn't know that because I was a 13-year-old child. I didn't know my foot was broken. I just knew it was in a tremendous amount of pain. So I hobbled to the house, to the apartment, walked in, was crying and screaming, saying, "Mom, I'm in so much pain. I hurt my foot." I lay down on the couch. My mom was so mad at me. I remember her just screaming at me, saying, "Why did you do that? You're an idiot." And I'm like, "Yes, Mom, I am an idiot. Please stop screaming at me. Put some ice on it. Call the ambulance." Oh, gosh. I just don't understand. Like, I mean, I get that I was literally being an idiot and that I did something so incredibly dumb, but if you're a parent and your child is in pain, I don't know, don't scream at the child and don't be like, "You're an idiot." He knows it. I knew I was an idiot from that point on for the rest of my life. I knew it. I just needed someone to console me and comfort me, but I didn't get it. I feel like I'm throwing a pity party for myself right now. I'm not. I'm over it. My left ankle is fine. My right ankle is not fine, but that is a story for another time. I actually broke my right foot as well, but I will share that story another time. Anyway, I was laying on the couch in excruciating pain. I looked at my foot. I finally got the shoe and sock off. It had swollen up to about this big. It was the size of a grapefruit. And it was a little bit purple. And over the next couple of hours, it got super purple. Super purple. My entire left leg, from probably the calf down, was purple and swollen. So I knew something was wrong. The reason I had to wait so long was because my dad was at work and my mom wanted to wait for him to get home to take me to the emergency room. I'm not sure why. We were really close to the hospital, but I don't know why. I guess we were just, I don't think they thought it was broken. I think my parents thought, or my mom thought I just sprained it really bad. But I guess I didn't. Anyway, my dad gets home and is like, "Son, what did you do to yourself? Your foot looks messed up." I'm like, "Yes, Dad, it hurts tremendously. I jumped out of a tree and landed on my foot like an idiot." Anyway, my dad took me to the emergency room. I had to explain to the doctor, "Hey, I jumped out of a tree like an idiot and injured my foot." They did x-rays on it, and I don't remember much of that. I think they gave me something for pain, and I kind of forgot everything, because that's what happens when they give you pain medicine in the emergency room. You forget it all. So I don't really have a lot of memories of when I went. Like, I remember going, but I don't remember anything that happened while we were in the emergency room. I assume that they looked at my leg and was like, "Hey, it's broken." They did x-ray. I remember getting the x-rays, but I think after the x-rays is when they gave me the pain medication. Then that was it. I was gone. But yeah, then they gave me a boot. They splinted my leg. I was not able to walk. They put me in a wheelchair, rolled me out, and was like, "Hey, you can't walk on this foot for the next 6 weeks." So I was either in a wheelchair or using crutches for 6 weeks. I think this was in the summertime because I don't remember walking around school in crutches. I don't. So I think this happened right at the end of the school year. I think. I don't remember. I need to get the details of all of the story from someone, I guess. But anyway, I don't remember walking around school. I just remember being in a lot of pain and being in a boot and being either in a wheelchair or crutches. I remember now. It was after school ended. It was the summer after. Yeah, for 6 weeks in that summer, I was on crutches in a wheelchair. So that's a great way to spend your summer, isn't it? Just walking around on crutches. But anyway, that is how I broke my foot, by jumping out of a tree like an absolute idiot. And honestly, I guess I can't blame my brother. Like I said, I was an idiot, and I would not want to be associated with myself either. Now, that is just one story of the injuries that I've accumulated on my body, and I have actually a lot more stories to tell along those lines, but we'll get to them at another time. Alright guys, I think that was everything I wanted to share with that story. I'm sorry if it seemed a little jumbled and I kind of skipped around a little bit. I'm working on that. I'm going to develop a format for telling these stories so I can get them in order and have all the details laid out before I kind of make a mess of it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys like the mess. Let me know. Alright. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.